Looking at their phone the whole time. How am I supposed to learn if the instructor's playing on their phone?
I'll have Jais trim it later, but we're recording now.
What?
I'll have Jais trim it later, but we're recording now.
Okay, cool.
That's wild.
All right. Now that we've gotten all the shit talk out of the way.
I think we got one more person.
We'll go ahead and what?
The outtakes.
Yeah.
Are you coming? Okay, just want to make sure.
We're gonna go ahead and start with introductions. I'm Farix from St. Louis, Missouri. I think I've had at least a few of you in classes that I've been in or been teaching this weekend. But I got my Warlord in 2021, Sword Knight in 2022, 2023. Started in Bell and then transitioned to Amp Guard because Amp Guard is just better in my area for competitive reasons. Yeah, I like to fight Punch Shield. Started with Strap, switched to Punch, switched back to Strap. Now I'm Punch full time. And the thing I love about Punch is it leads to a lot of very dynamic photos when you get your finishing slash with your shield over your head and you get your money shot in. So I look really cool most of the time using Punch Shield, right?
I am Warlord Noodles. Been playing since 2013. I got my Warlord back in 2024. Like most people, started with a strap shield. Wanted to make a punch, made a really fucked up punch, and it's a semi-low center grip punch. We can mess around with that later. But I tried going back to regular punch, can't do it. It's a weird feeling, but it's just like muscle memory now at this point, and it is what it is. But kind of the same thing Farix said. Some of these like really sweet shots. I know I got to teach some people yesterday in the feints and baits, and then last night I got to ditch with some of you guys in the Valkyrie ditch. And I know some of you guys get to see like the movements we get to do with the punch shield, where I can just throw it behind my back, or I can throw it over and just kind of have like this really nice like some shot selection, just because I have the ability to be able to move my shield where I want. Instead of like, I know a lot of some of the bigger fighters, they use like a 28 shield and they can move around it. It just didn't work for me, and I like the ability just to be able to fully move it.
No. We'll go this way.
Sure. Cord, I'm from Colorado in the Iron Mountains. Sword Knight there, 2024. Been playing since 1995.
Hell yeah. Whoever.
I'm Arcadis, Crystal Grove's right in this area. I guess I've been playing really on and off since 2009. I used to fight with a small strap, and that was the worst thing ever, so changed it to a punch.
Good call.
We love that.
Darko, Radiant Valley, Winter's Edge. Started Punch maybe about 6 years ago. I just love it. Was with Strap forever prior to that.
Stokes, same area, like East Tennessee. Tennessee started around 2009, but really in and out. And I'm transitioning into playing Druid and Amp Guard, so I can only have a small shield, and I love the punch, so that's what I'm here for.
Hell yeah.
Figuring out where's it go.
I'm SS. I've been playing for like 10 months in the Crystal Grove region. This was the first shield I ever used. I like this shield.
Oh yeah.
I just like punch shields because I
it's mine.
Absolutely.
Real quick, I forgot to mention that. If anybody has pronouns they would like to let people know, please just let us know.
Sheer.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kenshin. I'm of Gwyneth, that's a Bell realm in Southern Virginia. This is my first ever shield as well. I'm a year and a half into fighting, and I've tried strap shields. I didn't like them as much as I like my punch, so I'm hoping to learn more about specifically punch shields, because most Sword and Board classes are dedicated to strap shield fighting.
Hi, I'm Karis. I started fighting about 3.5-ish years ago. I am from the Belagarth realm in South Carolina, around Albion, if anybody knows those people. And of course, those people all fight with punch shields. So I started with a punch and then broke my hand 3 months into fighting and used a strap until that healed. And then came back to a punch because it is much better now that I'm moving. So because I use punch and because a lot of the classes are strap centric, I want to be able to use it better.
Hey, I'm Strix. I'm from Western Canada. I've been playing Amp Guard for, it'll be 3 years next month. And yeah, I've messed around with like every type of shield at this point for some period or another, but I just kind of keep getting dragged back to punch for whatever reason, just because it's, I don't know, I feel like it's it's just got the shortest curve from like I suck at this to like I'm okay at this, and then it's just been really successful for me. And I want to get deeper with it. Oh, yeah.
I'm Clover. I play Amp-Guard. I'm from New Hampshire, and I want to be a Paragon Scout, and I want to be able to use all of the equipment, including the small fields, and I have a lovely little small punch that I would like to learn how to use properly and be a threat to people.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Me lording my Paragon Scout title.
Hello, I'm Crow. I'm from Minnesota, Kingdom of Polaris. I received positive feedback with Punch Shield and hope to eventually focus and master it. So.
How long have you been fighting?
It'll be 10 years this September.
Alright, awesome.
Hi, I'm Bader. I'm from Darkon Crown Lands, from local around here. I've been fighting since '98. Yeah, I took the Fighting for Decades class as well too.
Oh, okay.
And I am, well, was a predominantly flow fighter for decades, and so want to round out my skill base. And sword and board is the worst one, but you know, punch is the most analogous in terms of what I can use, because I just like having that extra hand movement, and it's more natural to me.
Gotcha. So a lot of experience fighting, just not a ton of sword fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring it up too, because generally most people start with board and they transition to like Florentine. So you coming in that way, I think you have a really nice transition.
I'm Eric Helson, also from Darkon. It'll be 2 years fighting in a week or two. I picked up a punch kinda at random and kept using them since. I went from a rounded punch to a kite shield. His corners are great.
Corners are off. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot be here if you don't want to be here.
I'm here, but are you looking to be like an assistant, or are you looking to be in the class?
I will assist you where need be.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll tag you in if we need.
Alright, I'm Bowen. I'm from Goldenville, out of Boston. I've been playing Amp-Guard for 7 years now. I primarily play healer, so I'm always with a shield. Started with a strap and tried to punch, and I fell in love, and I just want to get better with it.
Yeah. Quick pro tip: if you play Amp-Guard battle games, punch is superior because it's really hard to take off a strap shield when you get hit with a fireball in the middle of the batch, right? Always recommend punch for battle games.
So it's like making best friends with a healer.
Absolutely. Okay. Perfect.
Skeptic.
We already said favorite thing about punch, or like why you use punch, so we'll go through that. Okay, perfect. So before we get too into getting up and moving around, I just wanted to cover some quick preference things. I feel like punch is the more expressive of the board styles, kind of like Florentine. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Not everybody does it the same way, but a lot of people are effective using those different modalities, those different methods of fighting, right? So Noodles, I was going to get your help with this real quick. First question, how do I hold a punch? Where do I hold a punch? I think me and Noodles are going to have very different answers because our shields are very different, right?
So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, right? So like I have a low center grip. Traditionally, most people, when they have a center grip punch, center for a reason. So yeah, there's yours. The top of my handle is the dead center. I hold it all the way at the bottom. So my hand naturally rests down here, but my shield still touches up here. So it's kind of like for people who have done strap shield, the low strap. This was never intentional. This was completely like an accident. But after I started using it, I just can't go back. And every time I hand it to somebody else, like Manimal yesterday, he was just like, "Oh, I need this." And so if you want later, you're more than welcome to try it out and everything. But it's great.
Yeah. But as far as like how do I hold it? Typically, I'm holding it like this. I'm using my thumb to brace the back. Fair warning, I don't do bell dag very often, so this could lead to thumb injury, right? If you're getting like really the shit stabbed out of your board with a pole. But barring that, if we're just using single shorts or blues, you can use that thumb to brace, and you have a lot more control over the angle, and it's a lot harder to stab through my board because I have that finger bracing this inside corner, right? And then my shoulder braces the corner here.
Yeah. And similar, but I actually just hammer fist mine. Just like you would with like a strap or like a handle on a strap. That's how I hold mine. most of the time when I'm starting out fighting, I usually have it against my body anyways. So it has a lot of that leverage where people can't move it around. So I don't have that problem as much. But when I do push it out, I still don't run into that as much. I have actually, it's hard to tell from here, but there is a flat spot on my handle, so it cannot move around that.
Yeah.
It's not completely round, so like it's not moving, right?
Yeah. My handle is also a hockey stick, so it looks kind of round, but is very oblong, so it doesn't turn in my hand very easily, right?
When you are bracing,
Yeah.
have it up like this or like to the side? Like
To the side. Kind of like modified saber grip for a sword, but because of that flat surface, I'm bracing my thumb against that, right?
Do you think that's like safer or more effective or?
I think it's more effective just because if people come up and stab this corner, a lot of the time, if I'm like hammer gripping, right, it's a lot easier for them to blow through to body if it's not like up against me or like braced against something. Whereas if I have this, I just have that little extra push where I can either buy a few seconds or I can just turn it out, right?
I can confirm with a completely round handle because I don't brace. I have weak thumbs.
Yeah.
So I hammer grip it and
Yeah.
I will often
Yeah, and honestly, having a more oblong grip, like a rectangle, even if you're hammer gripping, will help a lot because it's more natural for your hand to grip and hold on to the angle if your handle is more square. Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing so we do teach a little bit different in this term. Like I generally don't put my thumb up, and for like newer players, I recommend not to. And like one of the rules, like I have like the 5 basic rules of like when I teach, and rule number 5 is there's always an exception to the rule, but you need to understand the rule in order to be able to break the rule and like when it's appropriate. And I think like that's one of the things when you're first getting into it, I'd recommend not doing it because it's just one of those things where you might subconsciously put it out, and somebody's probably just gonna jam a pole into it, and you're not gonna realize it.
Yeah.
But as like you get to like skill levels like this, or even like once you get more comfortable, then yeah, it's really acceptable.
Yeah. Any questions on how to hold it, where to hold it, when to hold it, anything like that?
When to hold it?
Look, I just made up words, okay?
Whenever you can.
Yeah.
They told me to come here and yap, so I'm here to yap. Okay. So then going into preferences, right? Like our shields are both pretty modified to who we are and how we fight at this point. I like corners. Someone said something about corners are awesome earlier. Yeah, there we go, over there. Yeah, I love corners. Grab a sword real quick. So the thing I love about corners is it's very easy to bait this like shoulder boob pocket area, right?
So can everybody see all right?
Yeah.
So I can make this look very appetizing for a stab or a strike. And then instead of like moving the shield, I just turn it flat, right? I'm taking that opportunity away one way or the other, right? I'm just turning that corner. And especially if they go to stab or throw money down here, I can use the corner as a deflection, right? I'm basically just hooking the sword before it gets to me, and I'm yeeting it out of there, right? You can still do that with a round, but because I have this flat surface here on this corner, it just makes it much more solid when I'm doing that. I don't have to go sideways to make sure it's not sheeting around the bottom of the, like down here, it would, if they hit here, it's very easy to ride that corner. Whereas if they hit here, they're going up and then they're out and over, right? Because that corner gives them more deflection. Anything to say about your particular punch shield?
I mean, it's anything you could do with the strap. Basically, like your movements are still the same. Like you got to be careful because things are going to round over. But I find, and this is like, I can't move my arm that much with the strap, and that's part of the reason I started doing it. But like, say for example, like you're going to throw the shoulder. I'll switch on to you real quick, so people can see.
Yep.
Say like I want to throw here or like something, and this shoulder's open, and then you go to throw for the shoulder. I now have the ability to like just do this. And like you can do that with a strap shield, but like my arm movement does not want me to do that. I just don't have that flexibility like a lot of people do. And like I could already be over here, like if I'm throwing a dark side or whatever the case may be, or if I like actually go to throw a dark side, this is like one of those things we talked about, like those photo shots where you're like this, and it just looks super cute. But it's like there's a scenario. It's just your style. There's no, at the end of the day, there's like no right or wrong way. It's just how you maximize what you have.
Yeah. Kind of breaking down into. Sorry, go ahead.
You say you like corners, but only the top half of your shield has corners. Why don't you have corners on the bottom?
Because someone gave me this shield blank and that's how it came.
Okay.
I don't think I would necessarily put corners on the bottom because this looks way cooler than a square in my opinion. I I don't know. I've just been using this one and having a lot of fun. And typically, I can get the hip covered with the corner as well here. And then this hip usually doesn't get swung at too terribly often. And if it does, it's more of a pull the lawnmower cord motion than it is like flick it out, because I'd rather make sure that that hip wrap's coming, because if it's coming here, it's probably going to be a wrap, right? Especially if they fight strap shields a lot, they're not really thinking, oh, I can chop that off hip when the shield's out of position. They're thinking, okay, I got to make sure I sell this wrap, especially if it's dome shields, right? You got to like really get down there and get that wrap, so I'm not super worried about this a lot of the time.
Plus it's easier when you're dark siding and stuff that's rounded along the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. There's less in my way to get with no corner down there as well.
Also, you can use X for size. Because I don't know how AMP does tournament regional stuff, but for Dark On, it's simply what is the maximum dimension.
Oh, yes.
We do the same, yeah. So there's a max small and a max medium.
Yeah, this is pretty close to max small. I don't know. I don't think it's 100% max small, but it's pretty close.
And this is just under max medium at this point. It's it used to be a max medium, but foam has compressed over the years. I've had this shield for like 12 years.
I found that out for him this week.
Yeah, we found that out yesterday. So now it's like a 29, maybe a 28 and a half, but it used to be a full 30.
Yeah. So the way you fight determines your punch shield size, right? So some of you might be using smaller ones and might need to move to bigger ones. Obviously, if you're playing Scout, you're going to use a small one. If you're playing a class that only uses a small shield, you're limited on options, and that's good in a certain way. Like you know exactly what kind of shield you want to use, so you can get your style in alignment with that, right? Because my friend Big Head, back where I come from, he hates board, absolutely hates board. He will fight with a shield that is basically the size of this little rectangle here. He holds it in his hand like a hand block, and then he fights sword and board like this. Because all he wants to do is fight single, and then this is a free hand block, right? But the shield is absolutely tiny because he wants people to think he's as open as possible to swing on him. So he can do his, like, he's like 6.5 feet tall. So like, wham, you know, that kind of thing. And then just hand block the return.
And that was
right?
A conversation I know I had with some of the people here yesterday when we were talking about punch. It really is at like the end of the day, even if you have just a small one, it's just an infinite hand block at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you can block with your hand, you're just going to have a really nice time with it.
Yeah.
You just get down more area.
The smaller your punch shield is, the more like single sword you're going to be fighting. Whereas the bigger your punch is, the more similar to strap shield, but you still have the options of a punch, right? So depending on the size of your punch, you kind of know what stylistic cues to listen to, right? Like if you go a really good single sword fighter, there's probably a lot you can adapt into your small punch. But if you know like Kai, Tyrael, like that, they have strap shields and they're really big, or yeah, they have big strap shields. But if you have a big punch shield, it's more or less the same thing, you just have to adapt it to a punch, right? So you can learn in a lot of different ways from a lot of different people is my point. So there are different, does everybody have an innie handle? You know what I mean? Does anybody have an outie handle?
It looks like everybody has a recessed handle.
I have an outie handle.
Okay. Personal recommendation, get an innie handle.
Yeah, so
you can brace it on your arm much easier. So if someone really does start like pulling into your shield, it's a lot easier to brace your arm behind it and then push them away, right? Especially if they're trying to run into you.
They're real common, like you'll see like the cement trowels or like the ground trowels. That's what most people have, like the outer punch shield versus like the traditional like recessed grip that you have.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that out handles are bad, but if you're in a game that allows like shield and body manipulation, you are way more prone to manipulation with an outward handle than an inward handle. Just a note for that.
Oh yeah, just
otherwise,
it has leverage.
As far as like the blocks and the positions go, basically the same. Okay, so next is how do I stand with a punch, right? Like we've gone over what your punch is good at, what the size means for your style and things like that. So kind of going back to what I was talking about with Big Head, like he has the real small shield. If I'm standing like this, what am I hoping for? Any idea?
Get that arm. Hit the open arm.
Which open arm?
Your
Right, which open arm?
Which one?
I have two arms.
Sword arm.
The shield arm.
Shield arm, yeah. Because this is closer to her, and even though the sword is the threat, the sword is actually farther away because she's standing sword foot forward, right? No, you're good, you're good. Because like if you can touch my body if you really wanted to from here, right? And I might be able to, but I kind of have to go through your sword, right? So right here, I am very much baiting like, hey, get my shoulder, and bam, bam is the combo, right? It's she throws, and you go into it, right? So the way that you stand with your punch shield lets you control what they're gonna swing at. So whatever block or whatever area you feel most comfortable blocking is the area you defend the least, if that makes sense. Because if I'm very uncomfortable with this hip getting swung at, I'm just gonna put my shield right here. Maybe I'll hook my finger in my belt just to start with and be like, all right, that's the right position. I'm not getting hit in this hip now, right? Like, it can go somewhere else and I might get hit in that hip, but they're not gonna hit me there. Same thing with this shoulder. Like, if someone just keeps coming up and fucking smoking that shoulder, with punch, you have the option to be like, okay, this is where I live now. Am I limiting my options? Yes. Am I gonna get hit in that shoulder? Hell no. And that's far more effective with the smaller ones, especially the round ones. You can just put your hand on that spot you're getting hit over and over, right? And let it live there for a little bit while you figure out what they're doing to hit you there. And this also forces your opponent to change what they're doing to adapt to you, right? It is a little goofy, and they might figure that out and try and, start feint, fake, and baiting their way to getting you to move. But it at least makes them change what they're doing to adapt to you, right? Another plus side of the punch.
Another kind of like quick tip, if you're not sure, especially for like people who have the bigger shields like mine, if you're not sure where to like kind of start out with and you want to have like a little bit of like everything, the easiest way to do it is kind of like pretend your elbows against your body here and you have like this like kind of little center here. It blocks off some angles. You can fight here like I do. There are people who do it, but like if you want to like get started and you're not like 100% sure, this is like a good default because all you're doing is just eliminating angles by putting like further out, right? So if like I'm here and Farix puts their shoulder, like they're going for my shoulder, right? But if I'm standing here, like it's a big angle block, and now Farix has to go a lot deeper.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into when to hold it further out and when to hold it further in here a little bit later on. But yeah, that's exactly like just the
if you're
preview.
not sure, it's a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the end, this is gonna get tiring, right? Like, even if this is how you would rather fight, just a stay away from me kind of stance, like, pommel gripping, like, okay, cool, they can't get close to me without knocking me over, so in amp guards, they're just not getting close to me, right? You're going to get tired very quickly holding both of these out all day, right? Especially me, I've been to PT for my shoulders a few times, and I just don't have the stamina to stand here all day like this, right? So a lot of the times when it comes to punch shield, I will just end up in a relaxed stance. Maybe like this, if they keep like stabbing or throwing that shoulder, just so I can quickly. And you'll find your own shortcuts and like I call them quick blocks, which is like I'll put my hand over my chest, I'll put my hand on my hip, or I'll put my hand on my head so that I form a teepee, right? Because if I form this teepee, you can try and hit my shoulder all day. There is literally no world that you hit me in the back if you're going over that shoulder. And because I know that, as long as I know that they're gonna throw that cross, I can just step into them and throw my shot, right? Because I am not worried about anything coming up in that upper quadrant. Because it's either gonna be head, which I'd prefer not, but it's okay, I'm alive, or it's gonna be that shield. Any questions about any of that?
If you have questions, please don't like.
Yeah, please.
So I'd rather people ask questions and like have something they want to ask or not understand or whatever the case may be, than us miss it and then like you not fully understand or whatever the case may be. So please ask questions.
Yeah, literally anything about punch shield. That's what we're here for. Okay. We're gonna get. You don't have to get up right now, but in a second I'm gonna have you get up, just so you know. Fair warning. So, my favorite unique selling point of the punch shield is shield manipulation, right? Yes, even in amp guard, before anyone asks, right? So, I'm gonna do a quick amp guard versus bell. I don't know the rules on Darkon, I'm sorry. Like shield contact example. So, in bell, I am allowed to push her back and knock her off balance, right? Can't do that in amp guard, but that does not mean I can't do this. So now, if she tries to come forward, or tries to swing her sword, she has to go around herself, right? So if I'm standing here, and I'm blocking my arm that's behind my shield, I have the inside lane control, she can't advance, and I'm keeping her at bay with that, right?
This is not like an every time situation because, you know, people learn, people adapt to what you're doing, but it is good to have, especially if you like to fight real close and real tight, just the ability to go real quick, right? That was probably a little too hard for Amguard, but my point stands. Just kind of push a little bit, and especially if, I think the low strap's throwing me off a little bit, but if, can you grab that green one real quick if we can borrow? Especially with the round handles, right, that I was talking about, you can move it back and forth. If I just punch, like that's not even like hard, right? That's just a jab. It's very easy to just knock this around a little bit, right?
And I was gonna bring this up too, because it's related. Like, if you are fighting with a punch and you have it out like that, be careful. You are very susceptible to Florentine.
Yeah.
Like, that is going to be, somebody's just gonna come in and stab. There we go. And it's just gonna be this, and then you're open, right? You could do it the other way too, like if you want to go inside and out, but like it's just something you got to keep in mind.
Yeah.
That it's going to be like one of your big weak points.
Yeah, yeah. So, what we're going to do is I want you guys to practice the 1-2, as I call it, and you can do this a high, It's not a 1-2, it's a door opener. Or a door knocker, I can't remember what they call it. But basically, you're going to jab the outside of the shield, and then either throw inside or throw hit, right? And the other person is going to try and block one of those two, but you're just kind of getting that rhythm down, right? Take a step in, take a step in. See, I forgot one more thing. You're going to take a step in, jab, throw. And you can even jab, throw at the same time, but you're just trying to get that little bit of shield manipulation in without knocking the person over or like getting into their personal space, right? Because we're still playing Amguard. Yes?
How does it work if they're arrayed?
It'd be the same
you
thing.
were lucky. But yeah.
Yeah, it's still the same thing, right?
But so I'm still going to this side, right?
Yeah.
So it's punch in here, outside, or outside hit.
And that's what I was
right?
saying earlier with Florentine, you could still push either side. So
Yeah,
you got to be careful of that, because even if they want to stab inside, it's still that outside. And just think of the shield of getting pushed, it's literally just another sword.
Yeah. And if I have this round punch, I'm not punching with this top corner. I'm punching with the farthest part away from me that's in line with my hand. I also have my hand braced against the back of my own shield, because that's much more of a punch motion than like, right, I'm not getting a whole lot from this other than really exposing myself. So I'm kind of locking it in like that, punch here, wrap outside.
So same thing, you're just switching which side you're throwing on.
How would that look with a hammer grip?
Hammer grip on my shield?
Yeah.
Oh, same but different.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's the one I was
here,
doing too.
hammer grip. Yeah.
All you're doing is just...
The finger doesn't change a whole lot other than my shield moves less when people push it, right? Other than that, it should be basically the same. Let's go ahead and partner up, and then me and Noodles will walk around. Whoop, sorry. By the gallon.
Camera pick.
Yeah, it's one I picked originally.
Okay.
And so, like, anytime I come down to, like, Pennsylvania, North Maryland, the first thing I do is I go get turkey liced. First thing I do. If you guys want, this is completely optional. You don't have to go into the sun. We do have plenty of shade as we go down.
You can spread out.
So, like,
long
if you want to
ways
do it in the sun,
instead of-
go for it. But,
Yeah.
like, be comfortable.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
I am too white for that shit.
Everybody wearing
I am
hats.
Irish.
That's why I'm over here.
I am already a lobster and I know it.
You're not the
That's
only
why I'm
one.
wearing long sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, look at man. He's already ready.
I like
Yeah, I mean, like your default saves and mine are like pretty similar. So it's like, although it's like, I assume they're gonna get into it like trying to so just like close the end, like move.
This stance.
I heard somebody say camp. Okay, I thought it was you, but I wasn't quite sure. I am very much still learning.
So you can still do the technique. Yeah.
I am not very
Yeah, so what I would recommend, use this corner, because you can have a corner. Use that corner as the point of contact. And then as you're going, step into it. Remember, there's a step. So do that, push into it, and then as his shield comes down this way, that shoulder or that arm comes down the way. Because his corner, yeah. And you don't even have to go that far with it, because like when this corner turns this way, this is a far easier thing to get around than his iron, right? So it's more or less
we have an uneven number. You don't have to go
Yeah.
Okay,
You could do a chop, right? Maybe like a flat wrap if you want to do that, but like chop if you're trying to get it as long as you're forcing that shield out. Yeah, exactly.
So it's step open, turn outside. Correct. So what you're going to want to do is aim here with this edge, and then go.
I tend to struggle.
Good. Push into it. Like actually, you're not just trying to contact here. You're trying to actually get my shield to turn. Okay.
Go ahead and hold it out just a little bit more.
There you go. Okay. Perfect.
I'm always concerned because it's like with amp guards. Some people are like, oh, you're shield punching. You know what I mean? Like, but rubbing through.
Shield on shield manipulation's fine. Shield on weapon manipulation's fine. You just can't actually like just contact the person. You can't move.
I'm fighting it.
Right. As long as my feet stay planted, and or if the movement is of my own volition rather than because I'm falling, you're fine. Okay.
No, I mean, it's working out. Yeah. Okay. Mine's not as apparent because it's puzzle match.
Good.
Like,
So try and actually get the timing. Go ahead and put your shield up. You want to make sure that you get your timing in such a position where that motion here sets you up for the response. It's not two different like motions. It's actually hop here, hook, like cock this, this waist, or this hip.
The way people
Classic jab cross. Exactly.
Outside, right? So maybe. So then,
I feel like this is a little bit too much of a
shield's hitting in a way.
I don't know.
A little bit. Try and actually, and like if you're starting slow, that's fine. But try and make it so it's actually just cock, throw. Like the motion doesn't actually stop before you start down.
At the same time. Bonus points if you can get his shield in the way of his sword.
I feel like there wasn't enough contact on this.
Not great. Go ahead and hold yours out from real quick. Right. So you really
Madu. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I have to turn mine to actually get a decent. Because I'm not getting anywhere if I try and actually.
That's basically a Madu without spikes on it.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
But notice how like I basically step in, hard again here, and then start that immediately, rather than actually holding it against you. Because if I hold it against you, you're going to recover.
They're probably
I have to take advantage of that pop to be able to actually get a pop.
Okay. So it is like almost like a...
Exactly. Yeah, it really is a jab.
Yeah. You can do a more press, but then you have to be moving forward the whole time because they're going to start backing up as soon as they realize they're getting pressed, right? So this is more of a bang, right? You can either do both at the same time or bang bang, but yeah. It's essentially the equal flap of punch.
Oh, nice. Your timing on that one was great because I had no opportunity to recover. Like double punch. Exactly.
It looks silly, but I mean, if it works, it ain't stupid.
It doesn't look silly. Watch it on the video. This doesn't look silly.
Okay.
Like,
is that arm or torso?
You got arm.
It is green, but it's not like green and white. This was just a 5. I did not.
That one you did actually hit the scoop. But realistically, you want to try and actually take advantage of where this opening is. Oh, you actually reached all the way underneath and hit me here. You didn't have to hit my shield to be able to hit that.
I just
Okay.
Is that one of the old Warlord Sports ones?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you when this goes flat, you've opened up my entire side. Take advantage of that. Don't go for something that you could have hit without my shield being. Okay.
Camera break.
That's the only way you find out how to do
10 is when you call it. So
I'm more used to like the can over a scoop. I cross.
They will probably actually talk about that one too. Okay. My preference for that is usually like here.
Yeah.
Oh, cool too. Because I've got the extra on here. So I can grab, pop.
I've been wanting to get one of those ovals ever since I saw one.
Yeah.
I guess, does it matter the foot placement for throwing that punch?
Yes, that's right.
It really depends on where you want to go with it. Like I typically will like throw the punch as I'm stepping to this side, because if I'm actually going to close that off or like pop that, it opens up the hip a lot more. But you can also step in toward and throw over. Yeah, I generally don't think you're going to want to step to sword side. Sword side is where you can open it. Shield side is where you actually flatten the shield. So toward or to the shield side of your opponent.
So this punch, you said shield side or sword side?
So your step should be to shield side.
Oh, right, so step to the pocket.
Exactly. But your throw should be to sword side of the shield when you're against your opponent. Now for hand match, then you're actually going to want your step to be over here. Well, actually, it depends on. Let's see the way they're teaching this. Okay, so that would.
When they were doing it with Noodle, I remember it was on the outside, but instead of a wrap, it's now just a chop.
Yeah, it's more of a chop or a stab or something like that.
I love it.
But if we're actually here like this.
That was off.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm fighting off hand now, so you're going to go through this side of the shield.
Right, yeah.
Okay, good. Open up the arm. Okay. Now see if you can actually do it with like can opener and stab, or not can opener. Like pop the outside of the shield and pop in with a stab. Good. No, you were fine. You want to hit the edge. If you hit the center of the shield, you're actually like almost pulling me into position to be able to block.
Block myself.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
I think that one opened the angle.
Yeah, it did.
But that's the thing, though, is you got to get really close and stuff.
The shield foot. Oh yeah, because that wrap. So okay. The chop left foot forward.
I wasn't.
Yeah. So when you're hand matched, like I'm right here, your easiest areas are going to be like I've got you basically mirrored to block out. Right. So when you do that opener, you've opened the inside lane here. If you try and take advantage of the outside lane, I've still got a hand block on this. And so now you've pretty much, allowed me that full time to recover. Plus, you pushed your shield out here,
I do not have a lot of upper body strength.
I can potentially.
And I also am. Again, I'm a crafter coming into the fighting world, so I don't have a lot of shot power generation. Yeah, I keep forgetting that
I kind of hesitated. I was going to step, and I'm like, oh, I'll do it.
So ultimately, what I normally do in that situation is motor sort of right. Yeah. So coming here, I want to try and actually do something.
I was
right. So if I'm going to come in here, I'm going to step and like sort bat the sword out, and then come in.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, so like a redundant safety kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I
feel like I could have punched a little bit harder on that.
You could have. That actually didn't really open a whole lot up. Mostly what you did was the sword beat, and then you popped into the shoulder.
Sorry, if I was close to your face.
Nope, you were.
Yeah,
nice and solid right on the shoulder.
I could feel that. Yeah. I'm trying to. I feel you.
It's like learning new things.
I was.
Again, try not to just go through the motions and just tap the shield. Right.
First I was
the goal is to exactly open it up, not necessarily. Admittedly, like just kind of touching the shield or something like that does put them on the defensive, so you get a little bit of a benefit from that.
There's so many.
But if I open that up, that locks it out. Exactly. And it even helps. Like I can do that and then just pull it. Right. And if I can block you out here and just continuously attack the inside lane.
I feel weird about that one.
Yeah.
Like the angle of it blocked my punch.
Yeah, I had the sword on the inside, so I had most of it blocked out. That's where that sword beat would actually help on that as well.
I think it was. That's why I stopped.
Okay. Also consider coming in like low around.
Oh, okay.
That stops me from being able to do like a cross underneath here to try and actually get a block of hip shot. Okay. You went here, which again kind of pushes it almost in range and kind of required you to really go deep over on this side.
It's also just like less surface area on the oval punch to get to that outside versus around. You're gonna have more lever when there's more to the outside of them. So it's like a little, even a trickier way to do it when you have the oval punch.
Yeah. See, I actually have a real benefit with the oval because as soon as you start doing that, I go, okay.
Yeah.
And now that's not really good.
That's much harder.
Yeah. There's a couple of people that fight locally with those, and there's a lot more depth of questions to it.
I like it because it almost gives me the same sort of thing that that she was talking about with the corners.
Yeah.
Without actually having to have the corners. I tend to, fight really close to the shield at times.
Bring it back in. Bring it back in. Bring it back in.
Yeah, I have a small one, but I think it's actually a max though, so it's really long. I'm curious about the small one.
I did eat a full pizza last night.
Hell
so the
yeah.
calories brought me back to life.
Calories don't fix broken old muscles.
That's true. I'm gonna crash so hard on Sunday when I get back to that bed. I know that.
I'm only 3 weeks post-op. I said I'm only 3 weeks post-op. Still got a hole from the incision.
Okay. Did anybody notice anything? Have any questions about how something could be changed or anything like that?
It is weirdly difficult to defend against. Especially as someone who's never actually had a gun.
Yeah.
It's really weird to defend against
Yeah.
without just leaving.
Yeah, exactly. And just leaving is what you want to try and do, which is why if you need to throw it at the same time, you throw it at the same time, right? It's kind of like an eagle flap for sword and board if you really need to do it that way. Because sometimes you touch the shield just a little bit and then people are just like 3 miles away, right? Like they're like, nope, I'm in a different zip code. I don't want any of that.
Feels really natural to me because Florentine is just a 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got mistaken for the first time. Like, no, in Florentine it's the 1-2, and this it's the door opener or whatever you
Like I
want to
said,
call it.
I think you're gonna have a really nice transition from somebody who spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna come very natural to you. It's gonna be slightly different, but it's gonna come real easy for you.
Yeah, especially with that kind of motion and the corners you have on your shield, it's a lot easier because you don't have to project as far, right? And you just knock things open and do the 1-2.
Yeah, there's a brain set for me about shield defense only, sword offense only, and with 2-stick, I have to offense to create defense, and this is like, oh, this is nice. Come on.
That hand does more than just block.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what I was trying to like figure out is if there was like a way to defend against technically the shield.
Yeah.
So I tried pushing into the shield. That didn't work. I tried like moving more to this side, but that just leaves my side open. I moved to the shield side to block that shot, and so the shield just hits my body.
Yeah.
Which with my partner, that's not going to hurt much if we're like drilling and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get punched with. I don't want to get edged.
Yeah.
There's really, I didn't feel like there was any good way to stop it.
So I do something that we're able to find that if you hug it close and turn, that can help so it doesn't just completely
like your turtle. Okay.
Yeah. So with punch shield, there's typically like 2 schools of thought in my mind. Noodles might have something else, but you can either go through, you can go around, or you can turtle. So in that case, you're turtling, right? You're bringing your guard close in and rotating your body in order to get that, right? And then the through is the using the corners, projecting your guard, going into the problem. And then the avoiding is more of the, okay, I'm gonna throw my punch shield way out where it's not supposed to be and then hit him in the hit him in the ribs, right? Kind of thing. So you can either like avoid the problem by using your shield to change the dynamic. You can go through and change take the momentum and kind of flip the script on the fight that way. Or you can turtle up, and it just depends on the situation which of those 3 options you would choose to do, right?
So depending on the shield size, one thing they can do, most of the time when people are actually doing this, they're doing it left and right? They're going for the inside here and then coming around the backside, vice versa, right? Smaller shields, you rotate your hand position, that significantly decreases the amount of ability to, hit this side or hit this side. It increases it here and here. That's not commonly where people are actually going to go. They're not going to try and actually push the bottom of your shield to go for your shoulder first.
Yeah.
Farix, I'm a visual learner. Is it okay if you demonstrate? Or
the shield turning thing he was talking about?
The counter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to stand.
Yeah. No worries. Noodles is broken. I am too, just less broken, I guess.
All right, so I'm pushing.
Okay.
All right, and then you're countering. So what's your counter
Oh,
space?
what's my out of this
out
problem?
of this position, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm putting your shield in between your sword and me. So that makes your shot longer, and now there's more traffic, right? And then especially if you commit to it anyway and hit my shield, that is free, essentially. You might pull your shield up, but then if you pull your shield up, pull your shield up to block your arm. And then I do it back to you, right?
And that's pretty much what I was going to add into like your answer as well for like yours. It's just you got to
that
use
again,
your
but
footwork,
mirror?
right? Like as much as you have this momentum and like fluidity with like your shield and everything, you can't forget the footwork part of it as well. If you're forgetting that, it's just like half your fight already.
Okay. So the mirror is, he edges me, I take a step off, I throw up here, he might block it, he might not, if he does come around like that. Or go into the fight down. Yeah, absolutely. Does that make sense?
Two angles for the camera. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Do a lot of people hold their shield sideways like that?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was going to answer that and come back to that. I do end up holding, I didn't even think to put that in the script, but yes, Cord's right. I will end up holding my shield sideways, especially when it's down like this, because if it's down like this, I'm guarding my hips, right? And my hips are here and here, so my strongest blocks are there and there at this point, right? I won't do it necessarily as much this way, because it's hard to hold it in front of you like this. Like, it's not very, exactly. It's like fucking puppy paw trying to like hold it that way. It's not very ergonomic. It's not very sustainable, and if you get hit with your wrist like that, it's gonna really freaking hurt if it doesn't hurt after the third time.
Yeah. I was going to say, that was just what I was about to add. Yeah, so most of the time we talk about like when we're doing the demonstration, it's usually just like this. But when we're actually fighting, you'll notice that a lot of people just have it tilted.
Yeah.
Your hand doesn't naturally want to sit like this. Your hand is like, that's why like if you ever seen like an ergonomic mouse, it's slightly tilted. It's not all the way over, it's not all the way up. It's at a slight thing, and it's the same way we fight with our sword, right? Yeah. It's at that little 45. Your shield's really doing the same thing, right? Yeah. It's just a little off. You just don't see it because we're usually like this, we're on the other side.
Yeah.
But it is tilted slightly.
And if you think about this in terms of single sword, like everyone's aware of like the house guard, right? Everyone's got at least some knowledge of that. So the house guard, the blocks are here and here for crossbody, right? So just imagine your shield going in to that other cross. So if I had a sword, they'd be crossing like the teepee shape that the top of house guard is. Same principle. That's kind of where your hand is going to naturally rest, and that's also a very strong defense because you're crossing. Now there's this little gap in the middle, but it's very easy to close the door there, and there's the top of your house guard, right? And then these blocks are still basically the same. I'm just using my shield on this side versus the sword on this side. A lot of single sword will apply to punch shield in one way or another. Like I said, the bigger your punch shield, the more sword and board things you can steal versus the more single sword things you can steal. Anything to add on that?
No, that's perfect. Right on.
Yeah.
Other questions? No?
Yeah, questions?
Perfect.
Okay. Next thing I was going to talk about is footwork. It is it is one thing to absolutely use your shield to block everything. So if Noodles is walking at me, I'm going to walk straight back. I'm only getting so much block. Like I still have to move around a whole lot. Whereas, we'll go back. Whereas if I'm thinking with single sword logic, right, I'm using my feet to block more, and I'm also getting more dynamic angles for a better return. So instead of walking straight back, this is a little annoying with the tree here. Instead of walking straight back, I'm blocking off this side and coming this way, right? And if, put your sword back where it made contact over here. Yeah. So their sword's actually, her sword's actually a lot farther away from me this way, right? Because like, she might be able to hit me maybe, but because I took that from here, just leave your sword on me. From here to here, I'm still blocking it because I don't want the sword near me, but the chance that it actually hits me with or without the block is a lot lower. And then, because her sword's touching my shield, I now have command of her sword, bam, 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 which is amp guard legal. What is not amp guard legal is if she swings, if she swings at me and I have not moved yet and I punch her hand, right? That is not legal. I can punch her sword, you can even punch her handle, technically speaking, but I cannot punch her hand or wrist in order to disarm her, right?
So for those who don't play amp guard, equipment on equipment is legal, but equipment on body is not legal. So you can't just shield check the shit out of somebody, but you can just, that's what we were talking about earlier, like you can move the shield.
Small clarification for fighting specifically, you can bat a weapon out of the way with your
Yeah,
hand.
but we're talking about like.
But you can't bat someone's.
Like I can't
Yeah,
come
yeah,
up
yeah.
and do this. Like I can't grab
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I can't physically grab the shield. I can't do that. And then I can't like just punch their hand or anything like that. So like equipment on equipment's allowed. And like technically like in that case yes, but like in this it's a little different.
Yeah,
But yeah.
We're just trying to say like you can do this. Just I would recommend doing it in a safe environment with your close sparring partners.
Yes, know your audience.
Before you start throwing this on random people and like bullying them, and then they get too nervous and socially anxious to tell you that that you're bullying them, and then there's this weird rift in your fighter practice, and then people just stop showing up, right? We don't want that. We don't want that for sure. We want everyone to have fun. So make sure you're doing it with someone who understands what you're trying or is willing to get that level of physical with you, right?
The other thing too, I want to add into like the footwork, and like I showed a couple of you guys like while you were fighting, when we're doing that movement, like you notice like Farix came out and like so I'll just do it here, but so I threw. Farix not only took the step back, but like they took that step to the side, that 45. A lot of people will just take that step back and forth, or they'll do the side to side, but they're not doing that rotation with it, right? So if I'm here and I do that and the rotation, that puts my whole back open. So like for example, like we're here and I go to say like, I go to throw like an offside hip or whatever, right? Throw money, and then they step to the side. My whole back's open, right? Yeah, go ahead. So it now causes me to have to like, you know, either take the step back, rotate or whatnot. But by then, like you're not in a good position. Yeah. So I think that's one thing like a lot of people forget in just general fighting, but especially with like this, people get too reliant on the board.
Yeah.
You still have to remember that footwork.
Yeah.
So definitely have the back, the forward, the side to side, but make sure you're doing like the angles and like, I forget who it was, somebody here earlier was like talking about like going in a circle, right? Like think about it that way. You're not just doing laterals, like you want to turn with it.
Yeah.
You're creating an angle to force them to have to either retreat or correct the angle or be punished.
Yep. Everybody ready to stand up again?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Let's stand up again. So, what we're gonna do this time, can I get you just for like 10 more seconds? Sorry.
No, I was just trying.
Okay.
I was about to check something.
Go to right-handed probably. We don't have a whole lot of lefties in here,
No,
right?
I'm pretty sure I'm like one of the only people. It's like 4 lefties in this entire event.
Gotcha. Sorry about it. Okay. So, one person's going to be the attacker. You're going to throw to hand. The defender's job is going to be offside step, hip, right? That's like bread and butter.
Yes.
And when you do that offside step, you're going to trade positions of your shield and your sword, right? So it looks like this. Yeah.
So
exactly.
for those who aren't familiar, it is the dark
exactly.
side.
And for those who want to see, my elbows are essentially touching. You don't want to touch your elbows. You want to have a little bit of space there so you can untangle faster if you need to. But yes, in the end, it's going to look like your elbows are touching. And the reason we cross the shield, right? Like, because one of the rules that a lot of people will teach in Sword and Board generic will be don't cross your arms because you're going to get stuck like that, right? But the reason we cross our arms in this situation is that Noodles has already thrown their shot, or her shot. I'm going to put my sword on, or my shield on her sword, so it's harder for her to throw another shot. Either flat, plane, or edge, whatever you prefer. But I'm putting that there to block that, and then this is open because her arm is cutting off her own shield angle, right? This, if she had a smaller punch, this would be a little bit easier to block, but she would have to choose whether she's going to block the body or the arm. Does that make sense? Here, turn around.
So I could come over a little bit more and edge it out to block the body, but then my arm's blocked, right?
Right, because her arm's already committed to being in front of her shield. Okay, any questions? You want me to run through it one more time?
Yes.
Okay.
Run through it one more time.
We're gonna run through it one more time. So, attacker's gonna throw, defender, and you can just go for the arm to start with, or if you really like throwing those body shots, you can get a little bit of a lunge and get that body shot in there. But the goal is you want to keep your shield some way, somehow, on that sword to make sure that you're still maintaining control of the opponent's sword as you're getting those dynamic shots in there, right?
And make sure you are taking the step with it.
Yes.
It is not just a dark side over. Once you take
you
that
have
step
to take
and create that angle.
And it's not a side step, right? Because if I just take a step sideways, I'm actually getting further away. It is towards them sideways. And now I'm a lot
Think
closer.
of like the 45s, right? You're taking the 45, but you're rotating with it a little bit. So think of half circles, you're rotating like that instead.
Yeah. Questions? Okay, split into
into purse, please. And
Pick
go from
somebody
there.
you have not fought with.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a little different design.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't about to die.
Okay, yeah, no,
Somebody was calling.
What's the 30? I have one. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, like, wait.
Yeah, you can go first. Okay. So I'll attack, and then you'll do. Sorry, I'm gonna do it a couple of times just so you get kind of. So they were also showing like pushing more like contact to this rather than just in front of it. So when I throw here, when you come to like cross it, put the edge of your shield closer to here, so you still cover the side.
There's nothing to throw.
It's my favorite shot.
Yeah.
I just never really incorporate the shield.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna take a second.
yeah.
Throw on me. So I'm gonna. What is yours? I don't 27. You're ready. Oh, gotcha.
Mine's a 26 at home.
Your name is Clover. I'm bigger, like the.
I'm gonna try.
It's the names that I chose when I was.
Just make sure I'm stepping on it.
Alright, so.
And so, if you want to see something, so when you were throwing it, so do your.
Block
it!
Good.
Before you come across.
Okay.
So I feel like that exposes here.
I just wanted to see if I could.
Fair enough.
Because
Alright.
if I block you right, and step behind it, you still can't catch it, right?
You're good.
But I keep blocks open.
Thinking of counters
But if
over
I-
down.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. We'll try it again.
To throw in.
Okay.
Yeah. You still have open.
You drag it again, or how?
So do you want to throw again?
Yeah, go again.
Okay.
Or sorry, I meant
Yeah,
No, you're good. You're good.
Yes, please. So edge. So
Good. You got it.
Yeah, right towards the end. So if I throw here.
but it's like, in the moment, I'm never going to think to do that. That's only because you get 5 cards in a row.
Right.
Every single time you're going to block.
So you're still pushing too far from this side because you want to make sure that the shield stays.
Base. Sorry. Yeah, maybe
No, and your shield is kind of out here, not covering the body, right? So if I throw, so push slow, stop about your angle.
Try and block again.
Yeah, still are. That's good. I like that.
Still,
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
you're able to back fist over here. Yeah, you're covering
That was
all the
hand,
way,
yeah.
like across. So like go up in there again.
Sorry, I was out of position. I had already stepped like this.
I'm gonna throw. And then push. Take a step that way. There. That's better, right? Because you're.
I gotta I gotta think about it now.
But then as
like,
soon as
I
you
can't
move
throw
again,
again,
like I
your
can
shield's
still
there.
see your
Right.
be like,
So
yes. Pull back.
Back.
This.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So that was board over here. What's the difference for that?
Yeah.
So you are stepping, but your board needs to stay more in front of you.
Put the block in there.
Yeah.
Just to see what it looks like.
okay.
Easy to block.
Yeah, I want to.
You want to come back? Okay.
Yeah. So that's I guess where I have to choose.
That is
either. I guess if I
So yeah, my
choked up both.
I basically hand.
Or bring it back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You just don't want to over
I'm gonna try that.
correct with your right. Yeah, because
you can
I'm
have
already
a
behind
Right.
and out your block, right? So I have to come back this way or something. Whereas if you overblock, then I can see a little more of a shot still.
Did I have a bit of arm on that? Did you block it?
I went like this initially, underneath, and then flipped it up.
Yeah. Okay.
So my arm was exposed for like half a second.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. You got it.
That was pretty. Yeah. I have to do so much twist on that.
That's how I have to throw my dark side to the lefty.
Yeah.
Board, so I have to come in.
Get the block off.
Yeah.
I got a little bit more to
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn's hit me with that at Springmore like 9 times in a row on the
Hell
pitch.
yeah.
And I was just like, and I was like, don't stop throwing that because I need to figure out what the hell's going on.
I learned mine from Raven. Raven would like come in,
then it
all the
falls,
way up
so
like
you come
hammer.
Yeah.
because that's what they were measuring.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
My arm is
start this molesting.
It comes up as like a chop almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come this way just so you're. I
And you can also, like I said, throw that in.
That's actually my favorite way to throw it.
You want to go?
I'm gonna throw it.
Oh, you're gonna throw it.
I'm gonna throw it.
The arm is.
We're trying to figure out how to block
A
it.
lot of people that I fight
I
with,
had it right there. It's fully exposed. And I won't.
Yeah.
You're wanting
their
to
arm
move as your
stays.
shot throw
Yes.
instead of just sitting there to let him.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I get it. It's a natural.
Yeah, well, we've been problem solving in this specific case.
Here, like this. If I started to pull back, my shield's kind of in the way from doing a direct block from that. So, like,
Right now you're.
I'd almost have to, like,
That's a lot of
Right now, like at least I'm not seeing you.
Yeah.
I have a lot more room. Yeah. So you're breaking this like line wide. So it's like
Yep.
I would use a smaller.
There is something I can do. Let's try this. All right, go again.
Yeah, I can still make eye contact there.
Yeah, that's not a good. When you're bringing it over, if he starts
By the time I'm able to do that,
like you have no idea what you're doing.
But at the same time,
hip is-
I have no idea where he is either, too.
I mean, but yeah, if you see this though, you're automatically like your brain's just going, shit, I'm getting dark side.
Yes.
But if he's walked off and your hand's over here, when he comes out of it, you can already throw it over.
Right.
No,
It's true. So if it's someone that's like not sure if they're committing,
All right.
but if they're like 100% into it, but
a lot of the
Yeah.
that I fight with dark side is very prevalent. They high cross, they cover here.
yeah.
So my favorite.
Yeah. Because and that's the crazy thing. Exactly. They know oh my god, my body.
So I've been working with Bell on that one specifically because he throws all the time. So he was showing me.
Yeah, just one time.
And I'm trying to get that worked out. The problem that I've had was I was doing this.
The defender is the one doing the attack.
This.
And you could
For
also
the movement.
You don't have to, but
Because if I do this right here, I'm done. I'm trapped. I've got nothing else.
Yeah, you're separated.
But if I have that space,
Block with the sword. Block with the sword. Speak about
you don't mind to work on that just a minute?
Yeah, and then
So I'm still
I lose
doing this, but
visibility,
I've gotta
but
bring it right because I'm still having that elbow contact.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's going to depend on the height of the opponent too, right? Because if their shot was coming in at a lower angle, it probably wouldn't block your vision. Or
Over
if
the
it came in at a
top
higher
is
angle,
really
you're cutting off your
Yeah,
vision.
I gotta learn that.
Like I said, might not work for you, might not feel good for you, but there's multiple ways to do it. Play around with it a little bit.
I could probably throw it lower too if I threw like down here.
Now, to what Noodles was saying, right, as far as the eye contact, is that having an influence on your psyche?
A little bit. Yeah, well, it's like, actually, I was struggling more with that. Like, you're still.
So if I disappear?
Yeah. When you disappeared behind your whole board, and I was like, is it coming from my arm? Is it coming from my body? We're trying to problem solve.
But if you're keeping eye contact, it kind of lets you know that it's pretty limited as far as where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I like
so
that.
if I'm doing that, would I
All right, so go throw.
it and just adjust it?
And
All right,
so fast.
I'll throw it.
Yeah.
Are we active blocking?
No.
Okay, here you go through.
And then if they block high, right, you go low. Yeah, and if they shove their mortally in their armpit, you go low. Yeah, exactly that. And he's got a massive board
Rotating out to punch. It's the same thing. So you're just doing the same thing, rotating out, pushing special tip handle. There. Yeah.
Based on this. So normally it's like here. So instead, it's look at your leg, hopefully move your foot down.
Right now you're kind of
You will hit deeper in the face the first 3 times you do that. So make sure you're doing it in a safe practice environment. Probably. Going yeah. So it's, I'll do like this one, or like I'll take this one.
I feel like an overblock.
So then I'll
Yeah, a little bit. See if you can like step a little further and touch back instead of just side. See if you can reach a little
same thing, but instead it
Was that backwards?
Okay, so it's about halfway between.
You throw it like at the
Added one a little bit more.
Right.
And that time I felt like I had to go all the way around, but same but different.
That's I'm going into a fair.
100%
It feels a little overextended because you're further into that lunge, but I don't want to move this leg after that because I'm already moving around you.
Yeah, but I touched it, but I didn't pull board.
Instead of doing it like this and then stepping back, because that's going to be small.
Well, okay. So what I'm trying to do.
This is one of my favorite shots, so I'm good with.
Yeah. So actively block or whatever.
To the point
try and
people
make
know I do this, and now it gets exploited.
I like to do it almost sometimes like this one.
But my shield drops.
So you went out of my vision because I came underneath,
and then
I don't know that I like to come top. So now it's a matter of this.
The shoulder.
But I'm doing it. I have to be old ways.
Yep, that's a classic.
That's my favorite.
I've got
so many people.
I've got to
you just step with it.
Yeah. But I have to get this out of
Once you're safe, even if like I try to do something, still do something.
I could, if I miss it, this is going to come up here. I can go right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can't go.
Because it's going to take more time for me to figure out what I have to do. Just mix it out.
If I'm crossing,
I like that
if you
shot.
do it as a response, you can lead drop.
Beat the shoulder.
But at the same time, if
And that's, they mentioned that I should probably.
It's true.
It's better as I'm like, I'm doing
conditioned now to throw for the
I'm doing this, and then you go. I'm doing this because my guard wants to go here. Right?
Follow me the way that you naturally would if I'm doing this right here.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to learn how to do is how to.
So we're sparring. I come down like this. Right. So I definitely don't see this shoulder. Because what I was thinking.
Like I feel like I can kind of get in here sometimes. So
Yeah.
I figure out how to get
Is that right there? But you're definitely not expecting that. It does appear that this one will be the.
Yeah, because my whole guard is going to come sword side. Because like as we tried to figure out that, it was like okay, everybody's pretty good to go. Yeah.
So hold on 1 second. Just working through one thing. Okay, now.
If you're in the middle of something, keep going. If you're done, you
If I sidestep, and I'm going to do like this.
We'll give everybody just like another minute.
Do it again. The game maker would be smaller board. Yeah.
Well, that was good. Good session.
That's still like I'm gonna take notes about what to do again and again because I'm not gonna like get home.
I'm telling everybody you made a big point to take my class in the shields, and I feel uncomfortable.
Hey, I didn't make a not participate.
Okay.
To get out.
Yeah, you need some more space, or you need a different way to get there.
Right.
Because
I'm almost coming back around the tip of the sword.
I cannot tell you.
Yeah, and there was a few people struggling with that, so I think I'm going to move into that part of it, of like the getting out of your own way and finding ways to do that. So, yeah, good question. Thank you.
Specific on that.
All right. I already got one question out of that I'm going to go into here in more depth. But did anybody have any questions from that exercise? Anything you noticed? Yeah.
So, they hit, you block, you go under and around.
Yeah.
If like they hit, you block, you go over. Is that like a alternative? It's a different shot.
Yeah.
But is it also like still a valid good alternative?
If you can make it work, it is a valid good alternative. I don't.
Is it less effective? In your experience?
Yes and no. It can vary, right? Like so stand up real quick and like come forward and I'll like kind of show you, right?
Yeah. I can stand up and be your dummy if you want.
Well, I just want to like show the position.
Yeah.
So, here, let me come over here, so I'm out in the trees. Right. So I throw. You're coming over, right? Look at your arm.
Oh, it's really exposed?
Yeah. For you now to come back down, right? Like my shield's here, I can come up and in.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I can come over. You just have to be very careful. Can you do it? Absolutely. Is it effective? Absolutely. You just need to remember you have that exposed. And then say like, okay, I'm gonna block, so do it again, right? Yeah. But now you're throwing over, right? So you're throwing the crossover. And you're like, I wanna block here, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Can you do it again before?
Every mechanic
we'll switch.
has an equal and opposite mechanic that takes it. Yeah.
Right? So you're throwing the high cross. I block, I can either throw here, but if you're like, okay, I'm gonna throw for the arm, then it's like you put your shield up.
Shut the fuck up!
I don't think I would throw it on a lefty.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but it's still the same thing, right? So it's like we're going to do it. You're going to cross. I dark side, right?
And then
it's there, or even if you go higher, it's there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
And if you did want a silly way to do that, just 1 second before you sit down. What I would recommend to try, I don't know if this is effective or not, I have done this before, but it was more out of panic than out of like, I really want to do that, is, so you do the throw in, I replace here block. It's there. And then just block both shoulders and run away, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I don't know who was here for like the ditch line last night, right? But like, it's same thing. Like, you have a punch. It's maneuverable, right? Yeah. So last night I had people like coming at me both directions. It would be a throw. Same thing.
It was super effective.
Thank you. Yeah. And then you literally, as you're coming out, like, so for this, like, especially punch, like, people who, like, they try to go all the way around, it's literally just stays against your body the whole time.
Yeah. And we'll go more into, like, the backs and the spins and the fun stuff here in just a minute. I did have one question out of the last drill I wanted to go over. One of the frustrations that I saw in a few different people was I feel like I'm in my own way or their shit's in my way. So if you throw to my...
You want me to switch? Or?
Yeah, please. Sorry.
That's why I was like, 1 second.
Because once against left-handed people, I swear. Okay, so if they throw there and I put my stuff here, I'm cutting off my vision or I'm like kind of in my own way, right? Because I'm replacing one for one.
Yeah.
So as far as like the sword goes, right? To get your sword not stuck, when I'm blocking with my sword here, sorry, finish the shot, yeah. So when I'm blocking with my sword here, I'm pulling back as I'm replacing, right? So it's all part of a seamless motion. It's gonna take a while to get down, it's gonna feel awkward, and you might not be doing it the same way I am, right? Because the way that I would do that is a full wrap, so I'm hitting with the back of my sword, the part that faces me when I'm here, so it's got my little initials there, right? So I'm throwing it all the way around. So I'm coming from here, around. Just my tip never not facing Noodles as I come around, right? So it's from here to there, around. Yeah.
Something I'm noticing that's huge. Strap stance, your stance, board stance. And I think one thing that's I'm noticing is the amount of give.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yeah. I am mostly doing this board foot forward because when I'm fighting board foot forward, my board and my sword are basically the equivalent distance, right? Because my arms are the same length, doesn't matter. But when I rotate in, the board is going forward, not the sword, right? So I have a little bit more of a punch with my board that I can lean into when I'm board foot forward versus sword foot forward. It's okay, now I'm seeing the issue. Yes, that is my bad. Now I'm more in my own way and I'm crossing up a little bit more to get that. So yes, this is what's up?
You should be taking a step with it, right? So if you're sword forward, you should be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one way to think about it too. Yeah. So if we're starting,
I was gonna say, yeah, the last, not the most recent fighting thing we did, but the other one, I walked around and I think it was you had so we're talking about it because he asked the question. He's like, what do I do? Like, how do I step in? And so like, let's say you started shield foot forward, right? So it was like they throw, right? I think it was shield foot forward. Now I'm getting myself.
It was sword foot forward.
It was sword foot forward. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was doing it left-handed. It threw me off. So it's here, right? We block, and then you want to take that step. So now your most logic thing is you're gonna bring your back foot forward, right? So if you're doing steps, like you could go either way. Even if I wanted to do it like my normal way, I normally stand sword foot forward, right? And that's just how I stand. Like everybody's different. So like if you want to do the shield foot forward and you get like a little bit more movement here, you can. But same thing. Like if I want to step, I'm still gonna step here.
It's possible.
Keep your offensive forward.
It varies, right? So like for years and years and years, when I did strap shield, I stood board forward. And then I switched to punch, and I still did board forward for a little while, and then just something like clicked, and I was able to do sword foot forward. And then now, like, depending on who I'm fighting, I'll switch now in between. But I do prefer the sword forward, and it's gonna be on your preference, really.
Yeah, and I think board gives you a lot more forgiveness because like sword and board and dome, they'll teach you, these are the things you can do board foot forward, these are the things you can do sword foot forward. But just like Florentine, you have two things that are very active that you might need to switch that hand to that foot. If that makes sense, switch your lead foot for different purposes, right? Because if I'm going to throw that shield punch, if I'm coming from back here, I have to do something with the sword first to close distance so I can do shield punch shoulder, right? Whereas if I'm board foot forward, it's very easy to just fake or do something that doesn't actually make contact on the way in and then punch cross, right? So it really, board foot is more important than I was giving it credit for, so that is my bad. But yeah, that definitely affects how much room you have behind your shield and how you can move out or into certain situations.
Into the other sides.
Yeah, exactly.
And shield size made a big difference. Like
Yes,
the two of us
yes.
were both using bigger rounds,
Mhm.
and so it was like a lot of like, I can't see you anymore.
Yeah, and that is one thing you give up with a bigger punch shield. Is
Yeah.
when you go over that face or like try and pass it in front of your face real quick. Like I'm just losing sight because of this corner for like a second. Whereas if it's a bigger round, you have to find a way to either flatten it out or something to get it out of your own way. in
Yeah,
order to
and
do
that was kind of what we talked about. Darko was coming over, and when he was doing the dark side, this was like losing line of vision. And like while you can technically feel the sword, as he's coming out, he regains vision. If you wanted to just swing over, you're not gonna know. Like you're not gonna know what your opponent's doing because you just lost all that until you're coming around and you're here, and all of a sudden your opponent's now over here, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And they're just.
That's why they
Just
call
like
it
that.
that, right? Just like that. That's
Yeah. But so you just gotta be careful that and then we like looked at it and he was able to move it to where like it was still high enough, but he never lost that line of sight, and it worked out.
Okay. So there is a few downsides of punch shield I just wanted to cover real quick, and then we'll go into questions, or if you all want to learn any specific shots or anything like that. We did cover
Heresy.
No. We must learn from our weaknesses to be better, faster, stronger. Shield manipulation, we talked about that, right? Getting your shield pushed out of the way. Does anybody have any questions or want to see any in further details about that? Okay, cool. So the other thing we also kind of covered, I didn't say it in as many words, but a few of you found out about it in the drill. What happens if I go to dark side and they pin my shield or get really close to the point where I can't throw anymore, right? So you always want to keep your shield when you're dark siding at a distance that's away from you. Because if you're dark siding here and they step in or even put their shield edge on my shield, whatever, I'm not giving myself an out other than, okay, all the way back out, and then, okay, now we're ready to fight, right? But whereas if I'm going that cross this way and I'm throwing it, my handle broke. Sword's fine, handle's just fucked. So if I'm going like this, right, and they try and push into me, I can use my shield to hold them off for just a second, and I still have room to get my sword out, right? So those are things you want to keep in mind, because if you're dark siding here, or like even if I'm like doing some kind of weird like, I still have to come back up and uncross, so I better really fucking make sure I hit them with that. So there are a lot of very dynamic things you can do, but you do need an escape plan, especially in like a tournament or competitive setting, right? Because like you can ditch as much as you want and not hit that, but people will remember like, oh, that's that really cool shot. Whether it kills them or not, it's fun to watch, right? So it just depends on what you're trying to do with your fighting. Not everyone is going to be a warlord. Not everybody wants to be a warlord. Some people just want to get better at fighting, right? So find your joy, essentially. And if that's being an anime superhero versus being a warlord, that's fun too.
At the end of the day, if you're not having fun, then you're just playing the game wrong.
Exactly.
Like whether you win or lose, if you're just not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You said something about spins earlier.
Yeah, all right, we'll do the fun stuff.
Yay.
All right, do you want to do your backspin? Because I think you're...
No, I do insides.
What do you mean? Huh?
Insides?
Yeah. It's still a backspin. You're still spinning back, right?
Oh, I count this backside, so going outside.
Oh, different terminology.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no
So
worries.
inside versus outside
Yeah,
spins.
do you want to show your spin? Because you do it pretty well.
Sure. So, let me move out the fucking way. So
it is left-handed, so just...
Yeah, I am
jot that
left-handed,
down.
so this works a little bit. Just go ahead and switch for me. Just
Okay.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Oh no, I'm being
So,
bullied.
as a left-handed person, I don't get to throw money often because there's not many left-handed people. And then by the time I get to practice, it's not gonna work. But I can like kind of cheat it, or I can at least throw like this back wrap here. And I throw mine with the spin, so it's... And as I'm going, like that's where this I'm trying to bring this around at the same time. But you can kind of also leave your sword there. But yeah, it's the same thing.
But if you wanted to put your shield in the back,
yeah,
what
if
is
I
the
wanted to
mechanic
throw
of
it,
that?
so
Yeah.
it's same thing.
What does that mechanic look like? Like, what are you doing
Oh,
with your
so
arm?
here I will
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it comes from here, right? And all I'm doing is I'm just turning my wrist. It's like a transformer. You're just rolling and folding.
So if you could put your arm on your back like this, you are able to do that.
Yeah. So.
If you don't have too much stuff on your belt.
Yeah. Take that real knife out of your belt first
yeah.
before you do this.
Right.
But yeah. I do it the same exact way as far as like the backspin, right? You just take that corner back on your back,
And then I also have the over-the-top back. So like if I'm, especially on left-handed people, this is fun. So if I'm gonna fake this hip wrap, she's gonna return sword, maybe high cross, whatever. I can go. Fuck, sorry, I'm fucking stuff. Why you guys listening?
You just said it works great on lefties.
It does, but I don't have the chance to use it very often.
Where you're throwing on shoulder and then you spin like to your right.
Okay, I remember what I was gonna say. I don't know why I said it worked good on lefties. I'm very tired, y'all. Please be easy on me in the fight cards. I appreciate it. Okay, so if they're going outside for this shoulder, right? So this is a good one for that, right? I can go here, and that is the same basic motion as here, right? But you end up like more or less with your hand on the back of your head. So it's there. So your hand's actually going to be inside out on the back of your head, right?
One thing I do actually want to cover, and we didn't get a chance to, and this is you can kind of also, this is going back to like range and like range control and stuff. You can disguise your range with a punch shield a lot more than you can with the regular shield.
Yeah.
So like say you're fighting, like we're fighting, right? And I want to close distance, but I don't really want Farix to know, right? My shield's here. You can take the step forward and start slowly pulling your shield in so it stays in the same spot. So it's, and it looks like from your side of view, you can definitely tell. But if you have somebody do it who's looking at you, your eyes hard focus on this.
And then same thing.
Yeah, so it's, but when you're looking directly at it, your eyes want to focus here, and you don't really see a lot of what's going on, and it'll throw you up. Like you'll see a lot of people do it, and like when you catch it's really nice. But if you want to be able to close distance and like be able to kind of throw your opponent up, that's a good way to do it too. You're just kind of disguising your footsteps to be able to close it, get range, whatever you want.
Yeah. If when you first started in your area, someone told you not to look them like in the eyes, but like look at their shoulders or look at the middle of their chest, that's really good, because almost every time that means they're looking directly at your shield as you're coming up behind it.
Optical illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you get a chance, do it to somebody, and you'll watch, like, most people don't realize what happens. Because it happens so quickly, the shield doesn't move, and then you see this person just suddenly in front of you, but this never moved, it will throw you off.
Yeah. It's one of the, I like playing with range control a lot, and that's another little quick trick that you can use to get up on top of someone and start pummeling their sword side or whatever. But yeah, you can use it to cheat getting closer real quick. Okay, we are about at time. Does anybody have any questions? Do you want a shot demonstration? Anything we can do to help you as a punch shield user? Yeah.
Something I would like to do with space is just like figure out if my standard guard's back.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Come on up. We're gonna tear you down. Tear you down to build you back up.
Because I want to know why I'm back.
Yeah. So stand over here.
Rule number one: nobody's
face the
back.
crowd. All right.
That's more like why I just get immediately vaporized.
Okay.
So my guard is usually here.
Okay.
And I don't know what comes.
And when you say you get vaporized, do you know how you're getting vaporized? Because that's important information.
Where are the bruises?
So
hold on, one second.
So
I'm a
like
training partner.
They'll get in and like, okay, I should be blocking my shoulder right now, but they'll still hit my shoulder. Although they'll hit my hip even when I'm trying to block my hip. So I don't know if it's I'm not blocking it enough, or if it's just some other really small issue, or there's just skill issue.
Okay, so get into your shield stance real quick.
So I'm not blocking my shoulder.
So I think, like, just standing here watching it, I thought you were baiting it, because I know that I can't see it, but it's not that much farther down, right? If you had this corner, I think that would serve you better the way that you are standing, right? I'm not saying get a shield with corners. I'm just saying if you don't want to change anything else about the way you're standing right now, that will help you a lot.
Okay.
The other thing too, and it's like what I can see from my end. So just put your shoulder on your shoulders, right? See how close you are, right? If you just play out a little bit more, it's a harder angle for them to pin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same thing like when we were talking about like at fundamentals yesterday, like at the very beginning, and they're talking about if you have your guard here, how much more you have to move over here. It's the same thing, but now we're going out instead of in.
Yeah.
And your shield's the same thing, right? So you just want to keep it out, not all the way out, obviously, but like you want it out enough that it just blocks that angle.
Yeah, basically so I'm basically keeping where my sword is with house. If I'm fighting like single short, it's about here.
And it's
Sometimes
okay
I'll
to kind of like play in different ranges, right? Like you can have your sword slightly behind your shield and have the shield out here, right? Like you can stand shield to forward and like shield can be here, sword can be
I'm
here.
worried I'm just gonna hit
or get gumped up.
So,
which is fair.
Those are sacrifices you have to be willing to make, right? So if you are going to stand sword in front of your shield, remember how we were talking about 45s? So now you're giving yourself a lot more room.
This is open, but this is, I mean, I feel like this is still
So, right, so...
Because really, I'm putting it out to block my shoulder.
Yes.
So if I then do this, I'm blocking my shoulder a little bit more.
Not
So I
necessarily,
might as well.
because it, okay, so put your sword on my shoulder. All right, so all I have to do to get it off of me when I'm here is that, right? I have to go from here to here. All I have to do to get, put it back. All I have to do to get off me when I'm here, you see how much less effort that takes?
Yeah.
So even if I'm like in line with my shoulder, you have to go all the way across my shield.
Yeah.
And all I have to
just,
do
like,
is
ridiculous. Like,
then I step in.
Yeah.
Think about it like we're talking about like a triangle, right? So you have the top of the triangle. If this is your triangle and this is the middle point of the shield, so like middle point, like you have, the closer it is to you and like their shield you're trying to get over, the steeper that is, right? But then if it's further, so you have to hit a lot deeper angle versus if the shield's closer to them, it's much easier to kind of hit that point.
Yeah. And I don't think I've said it in as many words in this class, but I love using the edge of the shield as an active tool rather than the front of the shield. The front of the shield is nice when I need to block a large area because I'm not sure what's going on, but the better you get at reading or the better you know your sparring partner, when they start swinging, just throw a shot. You can step into it with the edge of your shield, preferably not on the body, but you can step into some of those shots with the edge of your shield. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, you're gonna kind of into those shots,
And
making
then,
your
like-
defense and offense, right? Like you're taking control of the fight in this situation. And then you can go there, you can go there, you can do both legs, that doesn't matter from there, right? But you're basically being like, oh, you're gonna swing on me? I'm gonna swing on you. I think so. Using that particular shield, do you remember what I said at the beginning of the class about if you're getting smoked in one location and you don't know what to do? Just cover it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think it's like, oh yeah, my shield was close. I would
Well, no. So yeah, and that's the catch-22, right? So you're giving up everything else in order to block that. So you know you can't be hit here, so you need to focus more on actively blocking the other locations,
The
right?
other thing too is like, like the big thing, don't forget you have footwork. So right now you're standing shield to forward, right? So Farix is gonna throw the shot towards you, put your shield back out, right? Oh,
sorry.
Right? All you have to do is take just your shield foot back, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Literally no chance in hell, right? And that's what we were talking about with the counters as well, because you're taking that shield foot back. So if I take a forward step, bringing both my feet, and you just change your feet, ready? Go. Sorry. You're doing this foot, and you're switching. You're switching feet.
You're
I'm going to take
the
both my
shield foot
feet
back.
forward towards you, right? Okay. Go ahead and go. But you
Now
see
look
how
at
much better of a position you're in
Exactly.
versus me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't goofy fit in,
Hey, you know, working progress.
There was a small difference there, that's all.
But no, like, yeah, my sword is on your shield's projected out from your body, and now your sword is in a prime position to do a primary return to my arm, right?
And this is something that's not like uncommon with punch.
Got you,
or
thank
strap
you.
Shield. It's both, right? When people start getting into like sword and board, punch, strap, whatever the case may be, we get so complacent about our footwork because we're like, oh, I have this big thing here, I get to compensate for it. And then like at the lower levels, you know, like when you're getting into it, sure, it works all the time. But then that's why you see like the higher fighters, they're doing all these angles and things like that, because if you're missing out on that, you're just gonna get eaten up. So just small things like that, right? Like you were talking about, you getting hit in the shoulder all day, right? One little step not only changed up your entire block, but it also left Farix open where now you had a return shot as well.
and also just holding it further out.
Yeah, but like the combination of everything, right? Like it's one of those things you've got to practice on. We got to like, you can't get complacent on one thing and rely on something else to be your crutch.
Yeah.
You got to make sure everything's kind of rounded out.
Yeah. Okay, we are at time, but I just wanted to do one little footnote before wrapping up. I feel like punch shield is one of the most complicated ways of fighting. You also have Florentine, but in Florentine, everything is spiky and hurts you, so you have to be defensive, right? Like if you're not defensive in Florentine, you're just gonna Simo over and over again. Every tournament I've ever been in. But with punch shield, you have defense, but you have to be active with it in one way or another, right? You have to be doing something, you have to be applying it to the fight. So you have to be using two separate pieces of equipment in two separate hands, tracking two separate things at the same time. So if anything we've said in this video kind of contradicts each other, we're trying to express it situationally, right? Because there are rules of fighting,
but once you know what to do with your equipment, you're allowed to break the rules, right? Especially like these really wonky, you know, don't cross your arms. Okay, but what if?
Like I said earlier, like I have 5 rules of fighting, and number 5 is there's always an exception to the rule, but you need to understand the rule in order to break the rule. Otherwise, you're just doing whatever.
Exactly. All right, one final round of questions. If you can keep it under 5 minutes for an answer, that would be awesome.
If you have questions afterwards, you can just come find me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be doing the fight cards later, so if you want to get more punch or anything else to that matter, honestly, we are more than happy to spend our 30-minute cards with you.
Where are the fight cards? How do you
I don't know. I'm just here to teach. They brought me here to yap, so.
Okay, so I guess they're supposed to be at the
That's
table.
what Megiddo was saying.
Okay, cool. Then at the table. That's where fight cards will be.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Oh, I don't know, 15 minutes, I don't know. Yeah. Thank you all for coming.
Also, if you have feedback or anything,